Annette here. Welcome back to my rug cooking talk show. Okay, so just mixing up my green tea here with a little honey. Actually, I think that's done, so let's get that bag out. So, for those of you who are just tuning into this particular show and not watching from the beginning, my name is Annette. I've been a rug hooker for a really long time. So I just do a little show so that those of you who are out there lone rug hookers have a little place to come and rug hook along with me and share comments and questions, whatever you want to do. So welcome. I'm still working on my bunny rug for my granddaughter. But a few of you have asked me to share what I'm doing with my knitting. I started knitting on a loom, a little round loom. I'll show you again for those who didn't quite. It's just a little round loom, and there's all different sizes, so you can make an afghan if you want, and you could do scarves, whatever you're into doing. These round looms work for doing flat knitting, for doing gloves, and so I've got a bunch of stuff here that I wanted to share with you. That's why I haven't been doing too much rug hooking, because I ventured into this to start knitting for my family for the winter, and loved it so much that I couldn't stop because everybody else kept asking me for stuff to make for them. So I just enjoyed it and went on a yarn frenzy and went to every sale there was and bought all the yarn I could find that I thought was good quality for making all these nice things. So I'll share them with you, and you could take a look at those. So for now, I'll get to that. It got really cold here in the Northeast, so it's down into the teens, and we had a little bit of snow yesterday for the first time, and just, on the grass. I'm thinking maybe an inch or something like that, but not too much. It didn't do anything to the flow of society, so to speak, so it wasn't too bad. Go ahead and grab something warm or cool or whatever you're doing while you rug hook. It's always nice to have a nice little quiet time to enjoy that cup of tea or a little treat or whatever you like to do while you're rug hooking. Go ahead and grab that. So for those of you who do not get the Wool Street Journal, and I just like to share it whenever it comes in because somebody might not have caught one of the earlier shows that share this, so I'm going to go ahead and share this every time it comes in so you all can get an idea of what's going on in it. This is the Wool Street Journal, volume 14. It's January 2016. That's the cover. It's a very nice, I like to term things in a certain way so you can get a feel for it. It's a cozy rug hooking magazine. Okay, so I think most of you know what that term means, but for those of you who don't, it's a very simple, easy to navigate through, just straightforward type of rug hooking magazine with pictures and a lot of little stories regarding rug hooking, and there's a good listing in here of Rugs on the Road, which is rug hooking on the road, where you can go anywhere in the United States. There's a listing. If there is something in that state, it'll be listed in here if they're advertising in here. But mostly you will find whatever's going on is in here in whatever state you were in. But like I said, not everybody does put their listing in. So if you know of one, then you're lucky to know that. But there you go. So it even has a lot in Canada, and Canada has great rug hooking. So she does a little section with musings, reflections, deliberations, and thoughts. So it's that type of magazine. It even has, let me think. You know what? I think I earmarked something. Let's see if I could find it right now. Hot Off My Hoop by Pamela Gunn. And it's just a nice story. And at the end, it has a baked chicken and rice casserole recipe, which looks really good, and which, even though I'm trying to attempt eating very light in the meat, I have to see how I'll work that out, but maybe I actually will do the chicken and rice. So anyway, you don't need to hear my situation. There it is. So it's a really nice, fun little magazine that you can just curl up on a couch with, or, you know, at night when you're in bed and you like to read something kind of calming and sweet and short, doesn't wrap your brain up too much. This is a really nice magazine. And of course, along with Rug Hooking Magazine. So there you go. Okay, I hope all of you are working on your rugs and getting them finished, maybe even a little better than I am, because it's been tough. I got kind of caught up in the knitting. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you a few things that I did. I won't spend too much time. Here's a cowl, the seated cowl stitch. And it's just, you know, it's just this size, and you just pop it on. And I made the fingerless gloves. I'll quickly pop one on for you. Oh, there you go. So that's what they look like. And that was a little set that I had made for myself, actually. And then I made a set of fingerless gloves in beige. And I made that same pair for my daughter in a hot pink. And I have a pair. This is the Downton Abbey yarn, the beige one, the Matthew line. And it's so pretty. It's like a tweed. And up here I just did a knit purl to give it a little tighter edge around the fingers. And pretty much that's it. I did a knit purl on the waist, a rib stitch. And there you go. But this is the Downton Abbey yarn, and it has a little wool in it, so it has a little bit more warmth, I imagine. You know, I don't spend that much time outside with fingerless gloves, but they do keep you quite warm, actually. For some strange reason, the core of your hand is warm, and the rest of your fingers stay nice and warm. So that's kind of why I strayed a little. Not really strayed. I still came down here and did my rug hooking, but absolutely not as much as I would have had I not been knitting away. That's green tea. I usually drink the Genmecha, which is the roasted brown rice tea with the green tea with the brown roasted rice, and it's a very smooth, mellow, almost nutty flavor. I ran out, and a friend said just to put in a really tiny amount of honey, and it cuts the acidic taste of the green tea, and it actually works really good. It's not really sweet or anything. It just, I put in a really small amount. Anyway, just sharing my little tidbits of info with you. So, I've gotten a lot accomplished, though, considering I just was working here and there and not doing that much. I have, yeah, I would say on the border now, I'm probably 90% done. 87% done. So, yeah, I don't have much more to go. So I've got to reposition this. So let me get that going. This is a great light, and I know I've shared it's the Ott light, and a lot of you have it, but I got to be honest, this little light, and I think I paid about $29 for it at Michael's with my 40% off coupon, and you can get those all the time. You know, sign up on their website, and they're always sending them into your email, and then you just bring your phone with you, or you can print them up, or you can subscribe and actually get a letter sent to your home, the little leaflet flyer, and the coupons are in there. I saved them for something really good, because 40% off is a pretty decent little price if something's not on sale. So that was one of my purchases, and yeah, it worked. It's a really good light. It actually, for rug, and what's nice is you could take it, and it's not that big. I mean, they even have them smaller. I got the one with the little tray for all my hooks, as you can see. Let me see, it's got a little, there you go. It's got a little tray, so it works so good for lighting up this area to see. Don't have really good light down here. We've tried, but yeah, it is what it is. Making the best of it. And this here is another light, and if you want just even extra light, I pop that up. So that's that. Let me get going, and then I'll share with you some of the wool. Alan suggested sharing some of the pink wools that I'll be using on the background, so I'm going to do that. I'm not sure how well you'll be able to see it, only because it's so light in color and the tones are kind of very close to give a very soft differential change in the rug hooking background. But I will share, and yeah. And that's always the fun part. You know, there's so many aspects to the rug hooking craft. Just like knitting, you think of what you want to do, and then you get that idea, and then you go out searching for your yarn, or if you have a big stash, you kind of peruse through your own little stash to see which yarn would look best with this, and you just gather your materials and you start with your knitting. Well, it's obviously you rug hookers out there know, but for those of you who might be new watching to get some info, there's so much other aspects to just the hooking end that are enjoyable. So that's what I think makes rug hooking a real keeper of a craft that people go back to over and over again. Even when they stop for years, I was told, many of you shared with me that you've started picking up rug hooking again after, 5 years, 10 years. Oh, it's been, 20 years since my grandmother gave me all this stuff. And I was like, that is so cool. And then you make it your own. It's the hunt of the wool. Do you have maybe you have some clothes from your older relatives that have been packed away that you're like, hey, I'm never going to wear these, but wouldn't it be cool if we did, if it's wool, obviously, cut it up and put it in a rug, and that coat or that skirt or pair of wool pants will live on from grandma or grandpa or, Uncle Theodore. They'll live on in that rug, and it can be passed to whoever wants it or who's ever lucky enough to receive that rug. And it doesn't have to fit. He doesn't have to fit into grandpa's pants, and he doesn't have to wear pants that are outdated, but that fabric, that connection to that person will live on in that rug somehow by using their clothes. And I think that's a great way. Hey, it's better than popping them off in the dump or anything, but this is how we get all these great clothes at the Goodwill and the Salvation Army or whatever thrift store you have near you for rug hooking. And what's nice is you can just mix and match what you have without buying something new and seeing what comes out. Sometimes it's really, really, unbeknownst to you, it comes out really good and really interesting. And maybe that combination of colors you would have never actually went out and purchased for that particular rug or project, but it just happens because that's all you have to make do with, that you got very creative in blending it together or creating a design where those colors worked. That is the fun part to me of rug hooking. And again, if you have a lovely stash like I do of all different kinds of wools, which I didn't always have, you get that through the years, through your travels. That's part of, again, another part of the love of rug hooking is building up your stash. If you don't have a lot of room, then, your next project will just be at hand. What can we find in the thrift stores? What can we get from the attic or whatever? And that's fine too. You don't have to have a big space to stuff all your stash. I mean, that's not necessary. I didn't always have this, so I kept everything in a little bin, and I actually just made rugs out of whatever was there. And yarn also stashes really well in a small box. So I used to hook with yarn, and that's good also. So whatever facet you like of rug hooking, and there's so many that I get enjoyment out of. It's all good with rug hooking. There's a lot to it, and then it can be very simple, which is so cool, And some people spin their own yarn for rugs. Again, that's where their passion is, and that enables them to enjoy a passionate part of dealing with yarn and fiber that maybe they wouldn't have otherwise been able to do, and also then create something with it. So there you go. It's many levels. So in my box here, I've got my pinks and my little plaids, and that's what I'm working on. The border is just a pink and plaid. Let's see, I'm just going to lift it up so you again could see what I am working on. Let me get right close here. Okay, so there you go. That pink and dark pink and light pink. They're two totally different pinks, and that's kind of what I wanted, so that they stand out against each other. For those of you who didn't know, I'm going to show you real quick what this pink starts out like. Okay. Oh, geez, dropped all my pink back there. I'm going to have to go pick that up. Okay, so this little strip of what I'm using in there, it's actually a houndstooth. So you could see that. That's actually what I'm actually hooking with. And then the other one is just a nice bright, I would say like a deep salmon pink. Not super bright, but enough to give me a good contrast. Actually, you know what? Before I start this, I'm just going to show you the background wool I have here. Okay, so, and this is fun to do. I was gifted a lot of beautiful wool, and I just can't believe how beautiful this wool was and how blessed I was and lucky enough to receive all of it. So again, it's a wonderful thing to be given all this wonderful wool. But I had in here so many different tones of pink in what I was given that I was like, let's see what we could do. And I decided on doing the background in pinks as opposed to beiges. I just thought for a little girl's room, the pinks with the browns would just look so pretty. So, you know, here they are. I tried to put them next to each other so you could see the difference of the shading. So there's a dull pink, and I tried not to stay all in the same family of pinks. There's a coral pink, there's like a purpley pink, there's a very pale pink, which has almost like a little orange in it. I mean, if you know what I mean, it's just not as, it's more corally, a peachy pink. Okay, there we go. Peachy pink, gotcha. And salmon pink, you know, like a soft pinky pink, petal pink, and then they're mottled. You know, they're not flat colors like the other pinks were. They're kind of mottled up. See that? There you go. They're not like a flat color. So that too will enable a nice subtlety in the background. It'll go a little from the white to like a pale pink to a little bit of a peachy pink to a dark pink, and I like that. I think you know, when I first started rug hooking, and I rug hooked with yarn, there was no shading except for when what was the name of it? Amy Oxford had a line of yarn, and her line of yarn, she actually had variegated yarns, and I was lucky enough to get my hands on those back then, and that was it. That was what you had. But before I even stumbled upon her line, which was red clover yarn, I used halcyon yarn. That was all I kind of knew back then. After scouring the yarn shops and using yarn that really wasn't meant for rug hooking, I then stumbled upon halcyon yarn through the internet. And so their yarn for rug hooking, again, it's just all beautiful colors, but all one-dimensional. No variegated, no shading, no, you know, no flow of differences in the yarn itself. So everything was very flat in my rug hooking. And as I started to discover rug hooking with fabric, I realized the opportunity to create something much more dynamic and unique was available to me. Probably only through the fabric could you get a certain look, but yarn, you got another look. But through the years, we are so lucky as rug hookers who love working with yarn too. A lot of sources has started doing variegated yarns. So now we can really even take 3 or 4 yarn color choices, say grays, and mix those 3-4 shades with a variegated and get the same nice shaded look. Obviously, we will not ever get the look we get using tweeds and stripes. I mean, those are very unique to fabric, and I appreciate that. But what we get with yarn, again, is so beautiful. So, and again, you have so many wonderful sources. Seal Harbor Rugs is doing many more variegated yarns now, ladies and gentlemen. So if you like hooking with that, definitely keep checking back to Seal Harbor Rug Yarn website. And I've seen she's been adding many more variegated, and she's doing grab bags. So you can get a good price with a lot of little different yarns in there, you know, at a good discount. And so there you go. We just wanted to share that again, but it's a wonderful craft, and we just can take it in any direction we want. You know, what I'm sharing with you is just what I do, but hey, go out there and be a pioneer and do something absolutely different and unique, and own it. Don't be afraid of it, and go for it. And share it so we can see something new that's being done with rug hooking with color or yarn or fabric. You know, oh, please do share. We love it. I think that's one thing us rug hookers love, is to look at other people's rugs and just see, even if we don't want to pursue that type, whether it's detailed or shaded, I truly believe we all appreciate things of beauty, whether they're in our wheelhouse or our passion or not. So just, it's a wonderful thing when I see somebody rug hook something so out of the box and unique. I love it. I love that. So there are my colors. And I have a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's probably about 5 different shades that are going to go back here. And I think that's good enough. I mean, I've done anywhere from 3 to 4 to 5 different colors. You can go to 10. So long as they're in the same shaded, same hue intensity, you know, then it works. It's kind of hard to do very light and dark. But if a rug is big enough and you can put that many shades in between, then it'll work. But I'm keeping it kind of simple for my granddaughter, and I'm just excited about getting it done so she can have it in her room and I could see her playing on it. That's the plan. So I finished my last set of gloves. I sent a pair out as a gift, and this is where I'm at. I'm back to my rug hooking. So hopefully every week we'll do an update on my progress, and I'll be rug hooking away and sharing it with you. So I'm going to get to my rug hooking, and until we meet again, thanks for joining me and being a part of the show. Even though we don't physically see each other, it's all good. And I encourage somebody else to go out there and share a little of your rug hooking day with other rug hookers that are solo or lone rug hookers, and add to this dynamic that we have of rug hooking through YouTube and through the internet. It's really kind of cool. So stay well and happy hooking. See you soon.